Right, this is a little tour of the garden, an update of the garden on the tropical jungle style that I'm developing. And first of all, I want to say a big shout out to Kieran up in Boyle in Roscommon. While I was away on holidays, he kept a hold of plants that I've been trying to get a hold of for a long time. So thanks very much, Kieran. And so here are some of them here. And these are pups of Colocasia Jack's Giant that I've just broken up out of a huge pot that were outside, and they overwintered outside. These are some of my own cannas. Leaves are fantastic. They have only come out of the polytunnel, and you can see the leaf size and the colour is excellent. If they were in a big pot now like they were last year, they'd probably go on to be a lot bigger. Here are more of my cannas that were, so you can see the leaf size, it's huge, they're like bananas. They were in the tunnel, so I've just left them in the trough. It's the end of a barrel that I cut. And the compost that I use and the best results I get is the farmyard manure that's bagged. Can't think of the name, but the farmyard manure seems to be the business. Here's another Jack's Giant. Some pups there. I think there's 3-4 of them there coming up. There's some of my green cannas. Can't think of the names of these ones here. I only got them at the end of the summer. What I've done with the cannas is I've put bark chips on top of the pot to keep the moisture in, because they love being soaked when they're fed. Some lilies there. These are 2 climbing roses that I've put up. They're fragrant as well. They're Dave Austin, fabulous roses. Yeah. So I'm going to be training them on the wire up here. It's a south facing back door, and on the other side we have the same rows here. It's an agave that I got. I don't know anything about these. Kieran gave it to me as a bonus present before I left. Thanks very much for that, which I'm going to have to give to the wife, and she loves it. This is something that caught our eye in the garden centre, and it's prolific in Montpellier in the south of France. They just grow like weeds. You probably recognise it now by the leaf, but I've never seen the variegated kind. It's the acanthus, and we have a lot of the green, plain green one, but I've never seen this. See the white flower? See here? Never seen the variegated type, so that will be going into one of the beds. These are the Miscanthus gigantus. I wasn't too sure if they'd actually start growing, but they're all grown, and they'll be going down the field in another project that I'm working on at the moment. I've eucalyptus trees. This grass is going to be going down amongst the eucalyptus. These are cannas here. Now the cannas here in these pots, the purple ones, they were overwintered, and you can see compared to size they're only a fraction of the size of the ones that I showed earlier. So if you have a tunnel or anywhere you get much better results, bigger plants, if you take them up at winter, pot them up and put them in a polytunnel. Leave them in the tunnel in the springtime. The extra heat and the humidity and the moisture and everything, they develop into much bigger plants. But these plants are still very healthy. They're just behind in size, so you can see that the leaf size here is much smaller. These are the bananas. that I had indoors. They were a pain in the arse, to be honest, bringing them into the house. But they look healthy enough. Hopefully they'll take off. So, more cannas. Here's another Jack's Giant that I divided up. Okay. This is a Musa Basjou. It's starting to throw out big leaves now. And I've got 2 pups, Musa Basjou, coming off them. I put in another Jack's Giant here. This is a begonia, it's only coming up. There's lovely flowers off them. Purple cannas. These are green cannas. These were actually in the tunnel as well, so you can see the size of these. Jack's Giant. Another Jack's Giant. Huge pot of it, just divided up into loads of plants. Here's another Musa Basjou. Jack's Giant. Begonia. Begonias are like plain oranges and plain yellows. They're lovely. These are cannas, new cannas that I got, and I've divided them. Some are gone into the bed and some I'll be potting up separately. I'll divide them up. Another Musa Basjou. You can see what happens when they're outside. They get a bit busted up in the wind. I think it just adds to the character of them. But the new leaves coming on should be okay. That's another Jack's Giant coming up there. This is one of the older original begonias I had. You can see the size of this. And this is a Canna Stuttgart. I'll just show you the leaves. I've never seen these, and I've never seen them for sale. But the real clear variegation lines are fantastic. This pot I'll be dividing up into individual plants. I had another pot of them that I've put into the bed. And here's Musa Sikamensis that I've potted up here. This is a grapevine, and you can see that the buds are coming out, so that's starting to grow. Some green, purple cannas, and another Jack's Giant. Right, so here I put in this plant I'm after acquiring, and this is the Musa Sikamensis. There was one large trunk, I think that was the parent, and then there was 4 smaller pups after coming off it. And this is a new canna I'm after getting. Beautiful leaves, look at the variation there. Some new ferns. They will actually grow into big ferns. They're the I think they're called ostrich ferns, if I'm not mistaken. Here's another Jack's Giant. Ferns, and look at this, what I'm after getting. I've been trying to get this for ages and ages and ages. It's a Tetrapanax Rex, and I think it's 4 or 5 years old, and the leaves are absolutely gigantic. I'm absolutely blessed to get this, so thanks a million, Kieran, for hanging on to this for me. Been trying to get plants in from Europe. We're not allowed to get plants in from the UK because they need passports and all that, and it's just a nightmare trying to get plants in because they want minimal amount spent on the orders and all that kind of stuff. That's another Sikamensis that I have planted, one of the pups to the front. This is a bigger Jack's Giant. That's a Musa Basjou. Here's some of the hostas that I put in last year. They're big. They're going to get a lot bigger as well. Lovely colour on them. And this is another Canna Stuttgart. And the bed is starting to fill up big time with ferns. This plant here, I have a video done on it earlier. Look at the size of it, look at the leaves. It's getting huge. That's the Chinese rhubarb. You can't eat that, it's poisonous. We have the Fatsia japonica. And that's after actually reaching over to here from these branches because it's planted in the corner. And in here, under, I don't know, there must be 100 kilos of farmyard manure underneath it. It's the Gunnera manicata, which I had about 20 years ago with the original bamboo. That was black bamboo, variegated green bamboo. And about 20 years ago we put in a Gunnera manicata and it got gigantic. We didn't know how to protect the crown over winter and it died. So we put one back in its original place, and hopefully all of this backdrop in here will be the Gunnera manicata. There's different Fatsias here as well. Green fingers, I think it's Polycarpa. That's another Stuttgart. I have grasses in here. That one's not doing too well. It looks like he's dying. I think the dogs are pissing on it. And I have my palms, which I got. They're doing great. Lovely colour in them. And this here is the Musa sikamensis. Lovely leaves on this. And this is another big tall canna. Variegation. The green with the variegation, which I hadn't got. And this is lovely as well. So these two lovely ones here I'm after getting. The purple and the green. Some more Jack's Giant down there. That's the Washingtonia. And that's the Charlie Boy Cordyline. Another big hosta. They're starting to get eaten. So, the work cut out for me. So the beds are starting to fill up nicely. There's not much room, I have to be careful now where I'm stepping. This is fabulous. That'll hopefully go all the way up here. Arch over. Tetrapanax rex. So this bed is starting to come together nicely. Still don't know what colours to do on the walls. Yeah.